And we're live. We're doing it live. Hey, welcome to the SBR roundtable. I am Drew Martin. I'll host today. We got Donnie Rightside, big man on campus, and Ian Cameron. We'll hit on some MLB, some NBA, some NHL, also some soccer, heading to the football pitch. But we'll go around the horn. Ian Cameron, you can find him on Twitter at Bobano. His work is at Sports Memo and a regular contributor on SBR. Ian, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Drew, and how can I not be? This is a great day for a sport I love, for a sport that I follow closely, for the National Hockey League. I mean, you get 2 Game 7s on the same night. It doesn't get any better than that. Pittsburgh, Washington, followed by Edmonton against Anaheim. 2 tickets will be punched to the conference finals. It's going to be one hell of a night.
Hell yeah. Interested to hear your opinion on the ice. Donnie Rightside, you can find him on Twitter at RightsideVP. Also his work at DonnieRightside.com, a regular contributor here at SBR. He has the Late Night on Campus show with Big Man on Campus, a great show there towards the end of the night. But Donnie, how you doing today?
Hey, doing good today. Opened up the season hot, just like we had in April. 6-2 overall. Coming into last night, we took the Philadelphia Phillies, jumped out to a 4-0 lead. Started spending my money early, picking out some stuff online. Amazon, told the wife she can go out and go shopping. And before I knew it, all that money was gone out of my back pocket. The Phillies blew 2 4-run leads. Carnage all over the base passes yesterday, or base paths yesterday, as I should say. I can't even get it out. I was so upset with that loss. But hey, it's baseball season. It's a long grind. You live, you fight another day. Pick a winner the next day. Keep it moving. Other than that, this is one of my favorite time slots, 12:30 to 1:30 today, Wednesday, the roundtable. No place I'd rather be. Can't wait to get it going here.
Absolutely, Donnie. Excited to hear your opinions about today's card, too. And last but not least, BMOC, big man on campus. Find him on Twitter at Jeff Nadu. Jeff, how are you today?
Doesn't seem to be too happy.
Yeah, can anybody hear Jeff?
Jeff is so good, he's speechless. No speech.
I'm there. Are you guys hearing me now?
Yeah, we got you now.
There we go.
I'm doing just fine, Drew. Yourself?
Well, I'm doing good, man. Excited to hear your opinions.
Thank you.
They're for soccer as well. But hey, guys, let's get right into it on the base
Got
pass.
all my opinions for baseball because I can't pick goddamn winner. So
That's all right.
Maybe I should just wait to the end.
No,
That's okay.
Buy low, sell high.
That was me 3 weeks ago. Baseball was in that rut for me, so it's a cycle. Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
you.
Well, boys, let's get right in it. Let's get right into it. Bet on fade teams. Anybody got any teams that they're absolutely looking to fade going forward? Anything different from last week that we've seen in the past 7 days?
You know, it's fun.
Go ahead, Ian.
No, I'm just going to stay. The thing that jumps out to me, Jeff, is the 2 teams facing off early this afternoon, and I want no part of either one. In San Francisco Giants are an absolute disaster right now, injury riddled. I think the Brandon Crawford injury is huge for them. Great defensive player, also can pop with a little pop in his bat. He's out. The pitching's been a mess. The bullpen again for San Francisco has been a problem. Their offense has been dormant. How on earth they get shut down last night? Once again, is beyond me, by the New York Mets, who really have a mess of a pitching staff of their own, with the Syndergaard issues, the Harvey issues, and the San Francisco Giants just not hitting out of a wet paper bag right now. They're a fade team. Unfortunately, they're playing another fade team this afternoon. So once you get past this series, I'm saying fade these 2 teams. The New York Mets, of course, remain a team filled with turmoil. Problems in the clubhouse, problems, in front of the media coming after them due to all their problems. Terry Collins, I don't think, is starting to lose control, I think, of this team a little bit, if he hasn't already. Again, the starting pitching is riddled with injuries, riddled with struggles. The bullpen is one of the worst in Major League Baseball, so it's one of those pouring gasoline on the fire situations. They're not getting outs early. They're not getting outs late. The offense has been a little bit scattershot recently. They went on a good run hitting the baseball, but they've sort of come back down to earth a little bit. Unfortunately, they're playing each other this afternoon, but I'm saying going forward, Giants and Mets want no part of them right now.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Tommy Milone taking money today. I know we talked about it yesterday, Ian, and the fade Tommy Milone train is not so far this year anyway. That's an interesting tidbit there. But Donnie, you got anything on today's bet on fade teams?
Yeah, bet on fade teams. The teams I'm actually looking to fade right now would be the Atlanta Braves. I'm going to take a high end and a low end team. The Braves aren't going to get much prices right now, but the bottom has fell out. Looking coming into the season, I had San Diego and the Braves almost going head to head with worst record in the league, followed up by the Phillies, who are playing a little bit better baseball than I had thought. The one thing with the Atlanta Braves here is I just don't see it moving forward. The starting pitching is a mess. The bullpen is a mess. They're a team in transition. I know it's the new ballpark. They wanted to try to stem the tide, so to speak. They had a nice start to the season, but I'm going to be fading them going on. The next team I'm going to look at is Toronto, but I'm going to look at Toronto at home. Only 5-9 overall, which means they'll still be moderately priced to fade against there until the reserves come back. Tulowitzki, Donaldson, until they see a clear path with a good lineup there. I'm looking to fade Toronto at home right now, just on the fact that they might be a favorite, -110, -120. But one of those teams I'm staying far, far away from at this point.
Yeah, Toronto's an interesting one. When you look at their lineup, they are just decimated, man. I mean, from last year's lineup to this year's lineup is crazy. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, the guy you need, Drew, in this spot is Joey Bats to come up big. And I've watched a lot of Toronto baseball. Either he needs to hit the juice, the HGH. I don't know what it is, but he's not even making contact, not making any power contact. And I'm talking in big spots, bases loaded, swinging 3-0 counts, can't catch up to a fastball. It's a mess up there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Big Man, what about you? Any bet on fade teams?
Yeah, I have a team I'm going to back, particularly at home. I think this might be the best team in the National League right now. And going forward, I'm really going to look to continue to make money on them at home. The Los Angeles Dodgers at home for me. You look at opponents, 219 in Chavez Ravine. I don't know if anybody knows, but the Los Angeles Dodgers have the best team ERA in baseball. You look at the fact that at home this year, they're 12-6. 10 of those 12 wins have come by 2 or more runs. You're going to have to lay juice with the Dodgers, but fear no more. You can lay the run line with the Dodgers and feel comfortable with it. They have a good lineup. They're 5th on base percentage in the league, 9th in runs scored per game. This team is scoring runs. Their pitching has been absolutely fantastic, and you can lean on their bullpen late to make them close the door. They're going to close the door most of the time. I think they have one of the best pitching staffs in baseball right now. They're getting people healthy. Kenta Maeda's added a pitch. Alex Wood is looking like a top-flight, top 3 starter. Kershaw's going to give you his normal stuff, and they're winning games and they're blowing teams out. I'm willing to go against that whole lefty thing. They'll start to hit lefties. For me right now, the Dodgers at home are a must bet, particularly on the run line. You're going to get a lot of good value. A team I'm looking to fade coming forward here, I think this team's going to go on a little bit of I don't know about a losing streak, but I think you're going to be able to pick your spots and maybe want to fade them in certain spots. I'm going to go to the Washington Nationals. I know people are going to think I'm nuts, but you look at the fact that this bullpen is one of the worst in the major leagues. They are counted on night after night to blow games. Ryan Zimmerman has overachieved. That's going to tail off. Bryce Harper's in and out of the lineup at times. Their leadoff hitter, Adam Eaton's out for the year at this point. They really have no depth as far as their order's concerned. And look, I just can't think that Ryan Zimmerman's going to hit 414 all year. Daniel Murphy hit over 300 all year last year. For me, that bullpen is just the worst. I'm not looking to back them full game at all. But for me, I like the Dodgers at home a lot.
I agree with a lot of what you said, Big Man. In the Nationals, Eaton is huge. Him being out of the lineup, a table setter there, and their bullpen over a 1.4 whip. That's not pretty ending games there in Washington. So good points there. And Donnie, I know you give us a fade team. Do you have a bet on team for the listeners?
Yeah, 2 teams to look at that I'm actually looking to back in certain situations here. Minnesota on the road, Drew, 8-4 overall, and usually they're going to be playing as a moderate favorite, maybe 107, 108. I can't imagine outside of Irving Santana going on the road against like the Padres, them having a larger number there, but I'm going to look to play them on the road as a value aspect. The other team also, watch out now. St. Louis Cardinals got it together 5 in a row, I think they won 7 of 8 at this point. All their pitchers outside of Wainwright having very good seasons. Lynn, 2.04 ERA. Leak, 1.79. Waka, 3.19. And Martinez, 3.86. They're starting to hit right now. But I don't think, Drew, as I know you like to look at, the markets are really catching up quite yet to St. Louis. They're a hot team right now, getting it rolling. That's another team that you might want to look to back over the next couple of days until the market corrects itself on them.
Yeah, great point. We'll get to them on today's card breakdown because I think they're priced a little, not priced enough in the market going today. But I guess, do we have bet on fade pitchers for today? Anybody got anything, or not necessarily for today, but looking to go forward in the rotation? I know I love seeing the the comments on YouTube, and it's Andrew Triggs Day. I know that's a BMOC and Donnie thing, and the guys are loving it. So feel free to comment, and also please like the video. I know we're up to almost 100 live videos or live viewers just on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Please like it, and feel free to chime in on the box. We're all checking it out and try to hit on everybody's questions. But guys, as far as bet on or fade pitchers, anybody we're looking at going forward this week?
Yeah, I got one to fade and one to bet on. For me to back, I kind of mentioned him in my Dodger breakdown. For me, it's Alex Wood. I mean, is this guy an ace? I don't think, but he's definitely very good number 2, number 3 starter. 5 games, 29 2/3. He's given up just 9 earned runs. What I like about Alex Wood is strikes out a lot of guys. 11.5 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is really impressive. Opponents only hitting 179 against him. And he's getting a ton of run support, guys. You look the last 2 games for Alex Wood, 25 runs he's gotten in support. Obviously, that's probably not going to be every game, but he's getting a lot of support. I remember a couple years ago, there were guys for the Toronto Blue Jays. Just they weren't really good pitchers, but they're just getting tremendous run support night after night. I know Ian probably can remember that. Kind of the likes of like Mark Burley and people like that, kind of towards the end of the career, but they're getting a ton of support. Someone I'm going to fade. He's actually pitching today. German Marquez. Marquez has been a mess. In Coors Field, he's been an extra mess. I'm just not sure he's a major league pitcher. They've had some issues in that rotation as far as having to start guys. 2 starts in Coors. He's given up 13 earned runs. I'm just not sure German Marquez is a major league pitcher. He's a guy that, particularly in Coors, I'm going to look to fade. But for me, it's Alex Wood. This guy's been really good, and I really think as a Dodger group, they need him to be good.
Yeah, he's back to like his form 2 years ago, big man. And I read an article, I think on Fangraphs, how he changed his arm slot and he went a little lower, and that's helped with his velocity. So it's really translated, especially there in Dodger Stadium. But Donnie, you looking to bet on or fade certain pitchers going forward?
Yeah, I got 2 each side that I would like to look at here, maybe point the listeners in a direction. The one you're not going to believe, I'll start out right now. It's with the Baltimore Orioles. It's Ubaldo Jimenez. He's 1-1 overall, but the team's games that he starts, Drew, 5-1. He has a 6.75 ERA. But listen, hear me out on this. Ubaldo Jimenez, who wants to back him in the right mind? You're going to look at games right now. Ubaldo Jimenez is going to come in as an underdog going 5-1, at this point. I don't think there's regression from 6.75 to 9.75. Maybe even improves to an under 5 ERA. But just looking at the betting markets, he's 5-1 overall in his starts. There might be some value. Can't imagine from the beginning of the season me actually looking at backing Jimenez, but just looking at the overall team numbers and the amount that he is up. If you bet 1 unit on per game with him, it's astounding there. So I'm going to look to maybe in the future back Ubaldo Jimenez, especially at home. Next game up, or next person up on the docket looking to back, Miguel Gonzalez, 4-2 in the 6 starts that he's had is what the White Sox are. 3.18 ERA, especially when his team is facing a left-handed pitcher. There's going to be some value there. It's very easy to say, hey, man, let's get out here and back Clayton Kershaw. Let's back Jacob deGrom. Those are the easy ones. I'm just looking for some contrarian value out there that you might be getting a plus dog at the right time. Guys, I'm looking to fade. Number 1 on the list is Matt Harvey. With everything surrounding the Mets at this point, where is his head at? I need to see at least 3 or 4 more starts if I'm even going to back him at all. Take a wait-and-see approach, but right now he's been terrible. Supermodels are breaking up with him. He's playing golf. He's getting hangovers. He's not showing up at the park. His team doesn't like him. We'll take a wait-and-see approach, but right now something I'm certainly not into. Also, same environment, same team playing today. Sharks Samardzija, 2-5 in the 7 starts, 5.44 ERA. He just looks dead in the water, boys.
Man, great points there, Don. I mean, the Matt Harvey thing. Did you read the article about Cinco de Mayo? He's out till 4 a.m. And then... Oh man,
it gets better and better every day because there's no Sports City other than page 6 up there that you can just read about in-depth details about Matt Harvey and how he goes through the night and who broke up with him. It's amazing.
Yeah, that was crazy. And also,
Adrian Lima. What do you want from him? I mean,
really. You know what? I might sit it out a couple of weeks too if Adrian Lima broke up with me. Yes,
Donnie, you can't be serious with Ubaldo Jimenez. Seriously, you're not being.
He cashed a 150 ticket last night.
So we're gonna get hyped because Ubaldo Jimenez pitched well one time. Come on, Don. Seriously.
Yeah, but hold on. You're missing the whole point. He has a very good team backing him. If Ubaldo Jimenez gives up 5 runs, the Orioles at home, boom, coming right back at it, as you saw last night. You're only looking at a value contrarian aspect. He's 5-1 in his starts. If you backed him so far, he's making money. It's an angle you need to look at based on the numbers.
I bet you $1,000 they have a losing record with him on the mound this year.
Let me give Donnie
He's
a
already
little
5-1. I'll take that bet at $1,000. He's already 5-1. Sure.
I'll put it in escrow right now. Are you crazy? He's terrible, Donnie. Come on, dude.
But you have the numbers say I know he's terrible, but you have to look at the team. He's not pitching for the Padres where they get shut out on a night-to-night basis. He's pitching on one of the best teams in Major League Baseball. I mean, worst case, he's going to go 500, you would think.
Okay. Let me give Donnie a life preserver here because I'm not a fan of Jimenez. He's going to need to show me
think he
a lot
stinks.
more
Correct.
than I've seen from him after just last night. However, Ubaldo Jimenez's struggles, problems over the last year or two, factored into the line. What do you look for in baseball? Things that aren't factored into the line. A lineup that's really can hit the baseball. Oh, check. Baltimore's got that. A bullpen that can lock down the game in the latter innings and put zeros on the board. Oh, check. Baltimore has that. So if you look at it in the complete picture of this Baltimore team, yeah, they have an offense and a bullpen that can bail out even a mediocre to bad start from Ubaldo Jimenez. So in that regard, Donnie, I think you might be onto a little something. But again, Jimenez is one of those tightrope walkers. Yeah, that's what's bailed him out.
Ubaldo Jimenez. I mean, why not just bet overs?
I personally don't.
Who wants to bet on I wouldn't want to bet on Ubaldo Jimenez, but if somebody out there is riding him, they're filling up their bank account.
That's the angle. That's the angle I see. That's the path I see to Ubaldo Jimenez being a pitcher to make money with. Is that if he has the offense supporting him and the bullpen putting up zeros late after he exits the game, that's the way he's going to win. I don't think it's going to be him shutting down opposing
8 innings exactly.
Yep, exactly. Or going deep into games. It's got to be the offense and bullpen that carries him to these victories. No doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah. Hey guys, we got a couple people in the chat box. What about fade the Giants? Just keep, they've been priced high. They haven't been cashing. What do you guys think about that philosophy?
They're last in slugging. They can't hit. They're 28th in offensive or on base percentage. And I don't know if anyone knows this. This was surprising to me. They're 28th in team ERA. So they're not hitting. Their pitching's been terrible. Their star is injured. They're just not exciting. They're a team that seems to lose every game. I can't remember the last time the Giants won. I mean, it seems like they never win games. I'm surprised that they even have whatever many wins they have. It seems like every night they lose. I don't know if there's value in backing them just because at this point, I think everyone's singing the same thing. But yeah, they're a brutal team. They have nothing that I'm excited about. Ian mentioned it. No Brandon Crawford. Buster Posey just, he's a good player. He's never turned into a star or anything, I don't think.
Whoa. Come on.
Okay, Donnie's trying to come back.
Like 360 this year? Come on,
He's not a star. He's not a top 10, 15.
Posey's not a star? How many rings does he have?
He's a good player. He's a really good player. Really good catcher.
Yeah, come on.
Donnie's trying to come back at me because I hit him
hard. San Francisco, I'm not big and I think they stink, but to say Posey's not a star is a little reach.
He's not a top 10 player, Donnie. Come on, stop.
Well, is that what it takes to be a star? That's the best on his team.
That's a star, dude. That's a star to me.
No. For those of you wondering what a best friend's relationship is like, Donnie and Jeff,
but he's just
they argue like a husband and wife.
He's trying to hit me where it hurts because I hit him where he was wrong on Ubaldo. He's trying to hit me on Posey.
Now if they're 5-1, how can I be wrong on Ubaldo? I only go by numbers, Jeff. Posey is raking this year, has multiple rings, and is an MVP candidate just about every year.
I don't think he's a star. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean,
that's a best friend's relationship. You get the odd husband and wife type dicker.
Yeah. It depends how you want to rate star, I guess.
If we all got along here, it wouldn't be any fun, would it?
There are 10 National League players better than Buster Posey. Sorry.
I don't know about that.
I'll name them right now.
Hold on. If there's criteria for this, Jeff, is Buster Posey going to the Hall of Fame?
No.
Come on now. Now here we go. Come on.
I think there's 10 people better than him in the NL right now.
Posey's going to the Hall of Fame. If that doesn't say a star, I don't know what is.
Well, look, I disagree. Sorry.
All right.
I'd like to see a few more years play out. Undecided right now, if you had to ask me.
All
So
right,
there's
boys.
not. So you guys agree? You don't agree that there's not 10 players you'd rather take over Buster Posey on your team? Because I would.
I don't know about that.
Remember, the
Just in
catcher
National
position is
League?
invaluable. The catcher position's invaluable. You got
I'm
to
not saying there's not 10 catchers. I'm saying there's 10 players that I would take over Buster Posey any day. That's my point here.
just players. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't think he's a top 10 player. That's what I said.
It's
But
debatable.
again, everyone will blow what I said.
No, it's debatable. But hey, guys, let's get into today's card. Anybody picking out one or two? Keep in mind, we're going to do best bets maybe towards the end of the show. But anybody got anything on today's card? The early starts, or what about the ESPN game? St. Louis, Miami. I know, St. Louis is almost evenly priced. I'm going to jump on the Cardinals today. But you guys liking anything today?
I like that St. Louis play. Actually, it was my last client card cut. It almost got on there, but I didn't want to load up the card too much. But St. Louis is a bet for me for sure. I like what I've seen from Lance Lynn. I do not like at all what I've seen from Tom Kohler. And I don't like Miami right now. You got teams going in opposite directions, like two ships in the night right now. St. Louis is surging. Miami something like 3-11, I believe, in their last 14 games. They've been on a downward slide. Their pitching's been miserable. Their bullpen's been a little bit shaky. Their offense has had games where they've been completely shut down. So Miami's struggling. And, last night was a wild game between these two teams. I think St. Louis, though, can carry it over. They're on a roll. I like the Lynn matchup over Kohler. At that even money price, it's hot versus cold for me. Take the hot team.
Okay, good stuff, Ian. And Donnie, you looking at anything today? Anything tickle your fancy?
One of the interesting cards, going up and down, the indicators that I like to look at, and again, you can't just fade the public or say how many tickets are on each side. They lead me in the right direction to about 5 or 6 games. Then you try to dig in and find those ulterior motives of why that line is priced the way it is. Who's in the lineup, who's out of the lineup, who hits in a certain ballpark. I haven't found really anything that I like too much, but I'm going to go with a little bit of a contrarian play today. Last week I did hit on a team total. I'm going to go back on that. I'm going to fade the Mets pitcher today. Tommy Miloney's on the mound. He's going to be stacked up against 7 of 8 right-handed bats for San Francisco. Nobody wants to back San Francisco at this point. I think they can scratch out 4 runs against one of the worst starting pitchers that I've seen over the last, 5 to 6 years. He doesn't bring much to the table. And again, we get back to the adage, one swing of the bat, a 2-run blast, you get 2 runs right off the bat. I think at 5 dimes right now, it's priced at 3.5 is the over, minus 125. I'll go with a little play on the San Francisco team total today versus the Mets, which is about to get underway at 1:10 Eastern Standard Time.
Only hesitancy I had with that was the Giants' feeble lineup. Otherwise, I'd be all over something against Malone today. Absolutely. But good luck with it. I hope it cashes.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about that?
They're going to hit. They got to do it today.
Yeah, I would have almost went for the over, but looking at that Mets lineup, especially 5 through 9, that's as bad as it gets. I know Matt Cain's out there. Matt Cain was garbage in his last start. Maybe he reverts back against a weaker type of lineup, but the one thing I do know is the Giants are going to get 9 at-bats, and if they don't get 3.5 runs off Tommy Miloney and crew, I'll live with that, but I'll take that small play out there, certainly.
Good stuff, Donnie.
Good.
And big man, you looking at anything today?
Yeah, I'm going to fade Buster Posey today. I'm going to go with – no, I'm kidding. I'm going to go I'm going to fade Kyle Kendrick. I don't think this guy belongs in the major leagues. If you faded him the first night, he delivered, which I did. Kyle Kendrick's not a major league pitcher. Brewers have been playing well. As far as at home, Chase Anderson, it's actually been pretty good. I only have to lay about 130 on this number. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I hope I don't get too much shit for this. I'm not a big Boston Red Sox guy. I don't think at the end of the year they're going to be in contention. They'll be in the playoffs. I don't know if they're a World Series team right now. I like Houston. I like some other teams. But in this particular game, I like Boston. I like Milwaukee. I like Thames. Like what Braun, kind of getting him back in the lineup at some point. They're going to hit. I'll ride that out for right now. And Kyle Kendrick's a guy that is just someone I'm really, really not interested in. I like Milwaukee at home. I'll think that they could score some runs and get the job done here against Kyle Kendrick.
Is anyone interested in Kyle Kendrick? Fuck. Holy goodness. Does anyone like what he's seen? Pawtucket numbers stink. His regular season debut against Baltimore stunk. By the way, we're hitting at best bet for me in terms of this guy. But yeah, does anyone like him?
Yeah, it looks like Milwaukee's as low as minus 122 at Pinnacle and at the Greek right now at SBR odds. All right, guys. Hey, let's get into some playoff action. Ian, let's start off with a little NHL. I know it's a big night in the NHL. You got any betting advice for the listeners?
This is a monster night, and usually when you have 2 game 7s, I tread a little cautiously and just be a little bit careful. You don't want to love anything too much in such a big game like this. This is one of the rare times where I really liked it from a betting perspective, these two game sevens, side and total. I think these games, when you look at a game seven, people think under, defensive minded, tight, close to the vest. Nobody wants to make the first mistake. Everybody wants to defend and just pounce on a mistake when it happens. I find that way of thinking has started going out of style. Elimination games in the NHL playoffs, they're trending more to the over now than they are the under. And it's been that way now for the last couple of seasons. You can get a plus price on the over in both of these games. And I think at the very worst, you're going to at least cash one of these two to go up and over the total 5.5 at a plus price tonight, either the Washington game and the Anaheim game. And if just one of the two cashes in for you, you grind out a little bit of a profit because of it. So I think that's a way I'd look. From a side perspective, I think that's way too inflated on Washington. Washington, though, the concern with taking Pittsburgh at that rich plus price, considering this is Washington in game 7 in the second round. They've never been out of the second round since Ovechkin's been there. I understand that pressure's on them, but they look like they're starting to seize control of this series. Washington won the last 2 games. Pittsburgh in the last game of this series, game 6 at home. No Trevor Daley in the lineup and on defense on their blue line. Without him, it was such a chore and difficulty and struggle to get the puck up the ice and get that offense going. Washington sort of choked them off at the pass a little bit, able to take advantage of Trevor Daley's absence. Just that puck movement, that quick speed through the neutral zone just wasn't present enough for the Pittsburgh Penguins in their last game. That's going to have to improve. You don't never put it past Pittsburgh to be able to score goals. I mean, they're that potent. They're that deep offensively with 4 lines that can score. Crosby back, of course, now. Connor Sheary back from injury. But Crosby's looked a little, I don't want to say off his game, but it's been a little bit timid, I think, the last 2 games. I think he's got to step it up a little bit more. I'm a little bit surprised after that crash he took into the boards in the last game. The concussion spotters didn't do anything to test him out for maybe a recurrence of his concussion symptoms, but apparently they deemed he was okay after that. So they're going to need Crosby to be better. Marc-Andre Fleury, though, is starting to show some warts finally. The Cinderella slipper coming off the foot of Marc-Andre Fleury a little bit. He's had a tremendous playoffs, but I think he's been a little bit more shaky as it's gone on. So I like the price with Pittsburgh. It's way too inflated on Washington, but I'm not going to back Pittsburgh here. I think Washington's got a little control. They're just absolutely – this is their chance. This has to be the night for the Washington Capitals to finally, with all of these great teams over the last 10 or 11 years, to finally – get to their first conference finals under this current Alex Ovechkin era. I think they're going to be able to do it tonight. The other game's fantastic. Edmonton, Anaheim. Edmonton's speed has caused Anaheim fits. Anaheim has been awful in game 7s. This has been a franchise that has been cursed in game 7s recently. I believe they've lost 5 straight game 7s. There's no way I could lay a price with Anaheim. I think Edmonton really, if they use their speed, use their transition game, stay out of the penalty box and in turn draw penalties on Anaheim, that's going to be the recipe for success. I think goaltending wise too, they have an edge. Cam Talbot's been steady most of this series. John Gibson's had moments where he's not been as sharp. He was not very good at the start of game 6. I think maybe a goalie edge for Edmonton. I've been singing the praises of Edmonton all playoffs. I took them to beat San Jose. They did. I thought they could have a chance in this series, and here they are in game 7. And the series could be over, guys, if Edmonton didn't blow that 2-0 lead, 3-0 lead against Anaheim in game 5. Anaheim scored 3 goals in the last 3 minutes, tied the game 1 in overtime. This series could and should be over already. Edmonton should already be on to the Western Conference Finals against Nashville, but now they got to play game 7. Plus price on Edmonton's the only way I can look. I see that's value, in my opinion, in a game they can win. And I've got Edmonton to win the West and Edmonton Stanley Cup futures in my pocket. So I'm all about go, Oil, go tonight in game 7.
Hey, good breakdown. It should be a good, an exciting night there in hockey. And guys, we got up over 100 viewers right now. We really appreciate you tuning in. We're really trying to keep this content free for everybody to view. So please give us a like if you can. Be notified if we do go live. Again, we're live every every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 Eastern. So we really appreciate you tuning in. And guys, we got anything, Big Man or Donnie, on the NBA playoffs? Anything for the listeners to look for, or should we just get right into soccer?
2-2, the series is tied. One of the better series. Obviously, you have two series that have been good. You have two series that are already over. So Boston, Washington, neither team has looked particularly good defensively in this series. We've seen a lot of high-scoring games. 3 or 4 have went over. So for me, again, I might side with the public here. I would maybe look over. I mean, both these teams have really been putting the ball in the basket. Not a lot of defense has been played. You look at over the last 5 games, both these teams giving up a lot of points. I think it's a highly contested matchup. The home teams are winning a lot of these games. I think Boston will ultimately win this series. I think they're a slightly better team, but yeah, look, this is a tough one. I would probably say we'll see points here, but the public is thinking the same thing, and I'm in the NBA more of a person that will fade what the steam says. So I would look over probably, but that's really all I have on the game.
Okay. Well, Big Man, you want to get right into the soccer analysis?
Yeah, you got a couple games today, guys. Champions League. Both these games are pretty much decided. The final's pretty much set. The likelihood of Atletico Madrid scoring 3 or 4 goals today is pretty unlikely. As far as for me, I don't have much on that game in the Champions League. One bet I will make is Cristiano Ronaldo to score anytime at plus 120. Cristiano Ronaldo's off a hat trick against Atletico Madrid in the last leg in the Bernabeu in Real. He didn't play over the weekend against Granada. He also had a fantastic vacation, it looks like, in Ibiza with his girlfriend. I'm sure many have seen the pictures. Looked like quite the time over in Ibiza with his girlfriend, Georgina Rodriguez. So for me, I think he's well rested. I think he had a nice time. This is just the kind of situation where the best player in the world will play and do something that matters. This guy just scores. That's what he does. I think Real will score a couple today. This game's over. This leg's over. It's not going to matter. They're already moving on to the final. But I think Ronaldo can find the back of the net. He seems to always do that, and he is the best player in the world. So you always have that behind you. At plus 120, I'll take a shot that he can score in this game after being rested over the weekend. But the game that I'm very much interested in today is English Premier League. Little weekly Wednesday football here. I'm going to go with Arsenal plus 101 to win the game. They have renewed confidence all of a sudden. They have a shot to kind of get into that top 4. Manchester United concerned with the Europa League. Everton's been playing terribly. And Manchester City, I think maybe they can catch them. You never know. They have a shot. Let's just say that. They're off of a nice win, and Southampton has played poorly lately, particularly at home. Last 6 games for Southampton at home, they've only won 1 time. Arsenal, they've been tough to trust this year. Their coach is similar to Andy Reid. He's been there for 14 years, and they want him out, but he started to win some matches lately. They have confidence. I think they have to go in. These 3 points are crucial if Arsenal wants to do anything in the top 4, top 5. I think they go into Southampton and get the job done. This should be a pretty low-scoring game. Southampton's been a boring side lately, but they've been good defensively. I think Arsenal can squeak a goal out here. I'll take Arsenal at plus 101 to win the game.
Boom.
That's very good. Oh, and
Yeah.
I just want to go back on one thing quickly, NBA-wise. I agree with Big Man in the over. I actually bet the over in that Celtic game. I would actually look to Washington, lean to Washington plus the points, because when you think about it, Washington blew out Boston in both home games in D.C. The 2 games in Boston, Washington pissed that one away in game 1. Huge lead, they blew it, but they had a big lead and blew that one. And game 2, same damn thing. Huge lead in that game, blew it, lost in overtime. So Washington's dominated Boston at home. Boston didn't necessarily dominate Washington at home in the first 2 games. I think the Wizards have a real live shot in this series, and I'd lean to them plus the points. And as for his soccer, Jeff, I agree. Arsenal, my soccer guy sent Arsenal to me in my email this morning, so he's on board with that one. How about this Wenger, the manager? Does he get saved if Arsenal ends up doing something and getting into that top 4?
Well, the problem that you have is he's been there for so long, and he's really been overall a very good coach. If we go back to when Andy Reid was in Philadelphia, overall he was a pretty good coach. It was just trying for him to move on. Arsene Wenger is a guy that I'm not sure you're going to get a better option. The problem that he has, and if you don't like Arsene Wenger, is they're in the FA Cup final, which is big as well. But yeah, I'm an Wenger out kind of guy. I think they need to get a little bit more hipper there in Arsenal. But for what I've heard right now, he's in. They're going to sign him to another contract, and they're going to stick with him. But yeah, it's been low right now for Arsene Wenger. But if he's proved anything over 14 years, it's that they've been relevant. So if they can somehow get in to that top 4, which it's unlikely, but I still would, I guess he says. But yeah, he's had a lot of issues this year, Arsene Wenger.
There you go.
All right, boys, great soccer content. And Donnie, I know you've been active in the chat box here. If we get 100 likes, I can promise I will reach out to Andrew Triggs. I can't promise he will be on the show.
It might be the biggest day in SBR history if we can put the MVP of Major League Baseball, Andrew Triggs, on the show with everybody. It'd be great.
Yes. So I promise you I will reach out if we get 100 likes. We got over 100 people watching right now. Thank you for tuning in. And also, I was talking to Zach, who runs things over here. And we're going to put together a contest mainly for this roundtable. So feel free to hit us up on Twitter or chime in on the chat box any way possible to get to us of what we'd really like as far as number of picks a month. And, we'll do sides and totals in MLB, and we will give out cash prizes. So, feel free to hit us up on that. We'll try to start it up next week and go forward there in MLB. Every month we'll pay out whoever is at the top of the list, maybe number 1, 2, maybe number 3. But we will have cash prizes. So feel free to chime in. What do you guys think as far as a month period of time? You think we can get 50 selections as a minimum, or should it be lower?
Yeah,
for the people in the chat box?
You mean 50 sections over the course of a month?
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's people that will bet 10 games a day, probably.
Yeah,
So.
I think you'll easily
but I mean,
take the over.
Like a minimum, I guess they would have to have?
Take the over.
I would say 50 would be probably good.
Okay, the one that we got running right now is like 90, and I do think it's a little bit high to ask people to put 3 plays a game or 3 games a day. So, we'll try to get that at 50, and we'll start it up next week. So be on the lookout for that and chime in with what you guys would like to see. But, hey, guys, on to I know a lot of people are waiting for it. Best bets. We've been off to a great start. Let's just go around the horn here. MLB, NBA, or NHL. Anything on the board, soccer as well. Let's go around and go with our best bets. Ian Cameron, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, we're going back to take the pinata and bash Kyle Kendrick over the head with it right now. I mean, that's something I'm happy doing right now. I did it in the first start, Boston, Baltimore over the total. We're not going to go with the full game over, though, and we're not going to go with Milwaukee money line because I have no idea what we see from Chase Anderson start to start. And in his last 2 starts, he's given up 4 runs each. He's had walk issues. That's a concern for me. So we're going to take Chase Anderson out. We're going to take this bad Milwaukee bullpen out, and it is not very good. I mean, I've seen Milwaukee's bullpen. They gave up some runs late last night. I want nothing to do with them. I just want to get after Kyle Kendrick because he's awful. He has no business being in a major league starting rotation as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to go a little bit different with our route and our path to cashing against Kendrick tonight. We're going to go Milwaukee team total over 4.5. You have to lay a little juice. It was minus 130, minus 135 last I checked, but the Brewers exploded offensively against Drew Pomeranz last night. Pomeranz has issues, but he's still better than Kendrick, in my opinion. No reason they can't get to 5 or more runs here against Kyle Kendrick and blast him, hit a couple home runs, which has also been an issue for him, not only in AAA, but in his first start with Boston. So let's look for Milwaukee's offense to explode again tonight. Milwaukee Brewers, team total, over 4.5. Best bet for the round table today.
All right, Ian, I like it. And what book can we find that out? 4.5 minus 130. It
was Pinnacle, the one I use mostly for team totals. Yeah.
Okay, so those watching outside of the USA, we can get that at minus 130 at Pinnacle. Donnie, what about you? What are you looking at for best bets?
Yeah, same thing I gave out earlier today. I'll go with another team total, same way I did last Wednesday on the roundtable. That one hit. We'll hope for some more success today. We're going to go team total over on the San Francisco Giants, over 3.5 at 5 dimes. A little juicy again, same way it was last week, but team totals tend to be double juiced and maybe even a little bit more. So we'll get that at minus 125 on 5 dimes. Stick it out. Hey, I think they can bleed it out. Maloney's on the mound. Not such a great bullpen. I could see them scratching out 4 runs here. Let's see if it gets done today as well.
Okay, so we got you got the New York Mets on the team total over?
No, it's the San Francisco Giants team total over 3.5 minus 125 on 5 dimes.
Okay, perfect, man. Doing a little fade of the Tommy Malone train. I like it.
Yeah, why not jump on board?
It's amazing that he's in the major leagues. I was so surprised to see him on the New York Mets.
One day, maybe the Twins will get the band back together with all those gas cans just for one last season. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. They were an over train last year. But big man, what about you? Best bet?
Yeah, I'm going to go with I don't really understand this, but again, I'll take a shot with it. I'm going to go with the Tigers first 5 money line plus 125. Not really sure why Zach Godley is a favorite here. Zach Godley is a spot starter. I'm not sure he is a guy that belongs to the major leagues. And all of a sudden, Arizona has lost 5 of 7. They're only hitting 200. Again, I don't want to worry about that Detroit bullpen, but I'm thinking Detroit can scratch a run out. At worst, we'll push and get our money back. But I think at this price, I'll take a shot with Matt Boyd, the lefty, thinking that they could scratch a run or two out. I just don't think Zach Godley should be, I don't think I should be getting plus money back. And when I can on Zach Godley, I'll take a shot, especially when Arizona's not hitting particularly well right now. I'll take a shot with the Tigers first 5 money line plus 125 at 5 dimes.
How about that Detroit bullpen last night? A stunning development where they put up nothing but zeros. Unbelievable. But prior to last night, last in MLB in ERA and FIP, that Detroit bullpen. So they got to show it to me more than one night before I believe this pen's back on track.
No, I like that, big man. I mean, Godley, I know he's had a rough time in the show. I don't know what his minor league numbers are, but I know he's really struggling. Boyd's been good. He's got a lot of upside there, so I like that play. And we got JP in the chat box asking how do you put in your picks? It's on the SBR contest tab. It's there at the top when you're at the SBR homepage. Just click on the contest tab, and then there's an MLB contest. They give out cash prizes there, so that's how you find it, JP, and all the other listeners. As far as my best bet, I didn't really like today's card. I'm going to go to 915, 916. Chicago White Sox, I'm going to back them. Holland, he's no great shakes, but the slight favorite in the Chicago White Sox and take the better bullpen, and it looks like we can find it as low as minus 115 at the Greek. So fade in Phil Hughes. I know they have Sano in that lineup, but outside of him, I just feel that Holland, the southpaw, will work his way around Sano and be able to keep the Minnesota offense in check. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. So minus 115 on the Chicago White Sox. Big man, Donnie, Ian, anything else before we close it out?
No, I think we're good today.
Absolutely. That was another great show. Another great Wednesday spent.
Yeah, no, I love it. And thanks for tuning in, guys.
Oh, I do want to say one thing now that we thought about it. Drew and I, we would be crazy not to mention this. The overnight shift. Brand new show here on SBR, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, live at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're breaking down the overnight lines that are pretty much released across most of the major Vegas and offshore sports books, barely more than half an hour before we hit the air at 4 p.m. Eastern. These are the first look at the lines for the next day's baseball card. We're going to try to project where these lines are going to move. We're going to try to give you some of our initial gut reaction opinions on certain games from the next day's card. That's the overnight shift. Drew Martin and I, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time, live here at SBR Picks. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're doing a little quick show, just trying to get a head start on the markets to get better numbers in your pockets. So, yeah, feel free to tune in. Also, Big Man and Donnie, Late Night on Campus, getting a bunch of views, great content there. Make sure to tune in there. And for us, we'll end it on that, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 Eastern time. You can catch the roundtable every Wednesday. So thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we will be back next Wednesday.